Very good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good. I hear some background noise though. I don't know whether it's just me or.
I think we then mute everyone. Maybe it's me crunching an apple, but we.
Okay.
Okay, let's give a couple of minutes to everyone to join. Very welcome, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're giving a couple of minutes to people who are joining now. We will be starting at 12:35 sharp. A lo mejor les podríamos.
Hello, good morning or good afternoon.
Hello, Lloyd. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
Lloyd. Hello.
Sorry to be a bit late. I don't know
afternoon.
if you already started, but
No, we just have an extra minute, courtesy minute for people to join, and then we start. There's a good attendance. We want to make sure that all the speakers are ready to go, and then we start.
thank you.
Okay, well, I think we can start now. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today for Blue Mission Med Community Building webinar. My name is Irene Alonso. I'm a senior consultant at ECRIS, and I'm really honored to be one of your moderators this afternoon. It's already great to see that we have people tuning in from different spots across the Med and possibly even beyond. In fact, in a minute, we'll have a chance to break the ice a bit and get a little glimpse of who's in the room. But first, allow me to briefly introduce why and what we've invited you here for. Well, if we go to the next slide, please. This webinar is part of the Blue Mission Med project, which is all about connecting smart, innovative solutions with communities that can put them into action. Our focus here is on building an ecosystem where the good ideas that we have identified can really take root and grow. This is why we have launched a support program, which starts today with this webinar. As you can deduct from the slide we're showing now, this is the first of a series of webinars that will be exploring innovations across different topics. And today specifically, we'll be touching upon 3 key areas: waste, water, and energy. And especially, we will be looking at smart solutions that are helping us rethink how we can manage those critical sectors for the sake of the prevention of pollution in our seas and waters. You will be hearing from people who are developing and applying solutions on the ground, and there will be chances later on to ask questions, to share thoughts and connect. So, as promised earlier, let's start with a little icebreaker. I kindly ask my team to display the poll now. This poll is integrated in the Teams app, so no worries. There's no need to look for our phones or scan any code. It shall appear here on your screens shortly. Let us know, of course, if not. Okay, in my case, I can see it now in my screen. I hope it's the same for you. So the first question, where are you based? Which country are you joining us from today? Let's get a bit of understanding of our geographical spread today. Then I think for us to see all the results, we have to respond to the 2 questions. The second one being, what type of entity do you represent? So what type of stakeholder? Are you working for the private sector? Are you working on research? Are you a public authority at local, regional, national level? Maybe others, or are you a civil society organization? Kindly let us know here. And then our third question would be, in which sectors do you operate? The sectors we have included here explicitly are the ones that we are targeting through our Blue Mission Med project, because we think these are really critical to meet the goals of the mission in particular. But of course, there may be others that we didn't mention here and that you can indicate here or now. Please make sure to press send when you finish the poll so we can see the results. Okay, so I finished the poll from my side, and for the first question, I see a pretty good spread. Well, the majority of colleagues may be joining from Spain, it seems. Good. The colleagues here organizing this webinar also mostly based in Spain. I also see, well, in fact, we see participants from across the Mediterranean. Even beyond, we see Ireland as well. Okay, fantastic. Well, a very warm welcome to all of you. It's always very exciting to see how diverse our communities. Okay, in terms of entities, I see also a relatively good spread. It seems the most frequent sector is the private sector. We also see quite a few research institutions, regional authorities, 15%, very good. Okay, great. And then in terms of sectors, we see a predominance in, which makes sense, of course, in wastewater treatment, then also energy and others. Would be interesting to know which other sectors you're working on, maybe in the interactive session that we have lined up for you later. Okay, great, thanks. Thanks a lot for that. Let's then move on. It's already shaping up to be a great session, so thanks a lot for sharing and bringing your piece into the puzzle. So now I'll take a couple of minutes walking you through the agenda that we have for today. We'll start with a few opening remarks and a quick look at the mission, the EU mission to restore our oceans and waters, just to set the scene. Then we'll give you a brief introduction to the Blue Mission Med project and the support services behind it. After that, we will dive into today's main focus, which are the smart solutions around waste, water, and energy, and then moving to our first round of pitches. We'll take a short coffee break midway and then come back for the second round of pitching. And for each round, we have invited 2 key experts to give feedback and pose a few questions to the pitchers. Later on, we'll open up a kind of marketplace session where solution providers and potential users, who are you in the audience, can connect. And finally, we will wrap up things with a Q&A before our closing remarks. So we've got a packed agenda with some great speakers ahead of us, but before we dive in, just a couple of quick housekeeping notes here in the slides. First, please keep your microphones muted so we can avoid any unexpected background noises. We've set aside specific times for Q&A and interaction with the speakers, as just mentioned. So when we get there, feel free to raise your virtual hand. And if you have something you'd like to ask or share, you can also drop your questions in the chat anytime. We'll be keeping an eye on it and we'll make sure to bring them into the Q&A. Just so you know, the session is being recorded and we'll share the recording afterward in case you want to go back and catch anything you missed. And finally, if you run into any technical issues, just send a message in the chat. Our support team is here on standby and happy to help. All right, I'd say let's get started now, and I'll hand it over to our first speaker, Loic Blanchard. Loic, the floor is yours. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you very much, Irene. I guess you can hear me correctly. Yes, very good. First of all, my name is Loic Blanchard. I'm working in the European Commission, DG Research and Innovation, and I'm also part of the Mission Secretariat for the Ocean. So why am I here? So for the people, and I hope when I see the number of people, quite impressive, 58. It's not, I didn't expect. I think it's very good. The mission was launched in 2021 as a new mechanism to complement the different initiative of the Horizon Europe program, which are the usual research, innovation, action that we support. And the idea of the mission was to support and mobilize as much as possible different communities that work in line with the mission objectives. So we can go to the next slide, please. Which are represented here and divided into 3 areas. I mean, I will not list them. You probably know them, with the ambition to reach those objectives by 2030. Next slide. Thank you. And the mission was structured.
Le stavo chiamando.
Come stai? Tutto bene?
Sorry, kindly mute your microphones in case you're not speaking. Thanks a lot. Sorry for that, Loic.
No problem. No problem. And so the mission was structured in 2 phases that you can see. Here it's 3, but it's more or less 2 phases. The first one being the mobilization of relevant actors. This is what has happened from 21 to 25. The current actions that support the activity today, like the seminar by the Blue Mission Med, is one of them, with this ambition, as you say, René, in your introduction, to build innovation ecosystems, make stakeholders meet, make them when they can develop solutions and help them go to the marketplace. And the second phase, where we are really entering now, which is supporting and deploying at scale. And that's very key, because it's not only about putting words on paper and say we will do great things. We really need to see them at scale on the ground, very concrete. But to do that, there's a lot of activity that needs to be taking place. One of them being like today, making people present their innovation, making them meet potential solution uptaker. And for us as EU institutions, understanding what are your needs and the support mechanism we can still continue to develop to help you develop innovative solutions that can respond to the different challenges our seas and water are confronted with, which are quite a lot. So we have put in place those different support that you can see in the slide, from the technical assistance or the support to associated region call. Next week, we will present you in Brussels, and I put in the annex, I think, of the presentation, the details, where we'll have our info day for the work program 2025, with another more or less 100 million euro divided in 9 topics. Next slide. Yes, that's okay. That's a conclusion. So my conclusion is, we usually do not come to such event because this is CSA do their activity, but it's so important. That's why I'm here. I want to really understand where we are in terms of technological development, what are the needs from the different stakeholders, and how those needs could be reflected, translated in future support initiative from us, helping also regions, helping the member states to build and develop the best tools to accompany your solution. So I'm looking forward. Be not long. I can't stay the whole thing, unfortunately, but I will be listening with care and looking forward to hearing all those innovations. So, and again, thank you very much for the CSA team for the invitation. Thank you.
Thanks to you for joining us, Loic. Indeed, we expect to hear all the innovations that are happening on the ground, and also have some time later on to see how we can connect those with possible implementers in the audience. So moving on now to Fedra Francozzi, our project coordinator at Blue Mission Med from CNR. Fedra, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Irene. And thanks, first of all, to the ECORIS team for the excellent job in putting this pilot exercise together. And I think that also the presence of Loic from the European Commission, it's very important because it's really providing the framework in which the CSA is part of, and also showing how all the activities are connected to each other, because our aim is also to support stakeholders in apply to funds. So also in identifying and searching for those innovation that, if you go to the next slide, please, that could help you and address your needs for addressing the second objective of the mission at this phase, that is prevention and reduction of pollution from our ocean and waters. So this is the main topic of the on which we worked on, and the screening that we made and the assessment is looking at solution that can and those that are related to not only to the technical, the technology part, but also to those innovative business model and financial mechanism, and also to process that includes social innovation, so participation from stakeholders, from the communities, and any new governance or already existing governance tools, even from other fields, that can be transferred and applied to the topic of pollution across waters. So it's really, it has been the first part of our work as a CSA. The sectors that you're representing are many, as you know, but also the dimension. So you see, we are acting at the local level, regional, up to national level. And this is important for us to guarantee this link in order to align also funds. That seems to be relevant, of course, to implement country solution. So after searching from innovation to be transferred and put in place, we are now in the phase of supporting action led by stakeholders and to empower you as a key actors to reach the mission objective in the Mediterranean with the knowledge and tools opportunities to create new partnership, to foster collaboration among you, and to finalize project and initiative. Just concluding to the next slide, please, just to say that this you represents any kind of stakeholder you may represent in your environment, whether you are a policymaker, an innovator, or a researcher, in order to really make this collective change together. So I'm really curious to see the progress of this initiative together, and I will be here also to follow and to address your question, if any. Thank you, and congratulations again, Irene, for this.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Pedra. And indeed, this is what we're here for, to understand what are your needs and how we can support you. I think my colleagues are going to put now more information on the Blue Mission Med support program in the chat, so you can see a little bit more in depth the different services we are offering. So I will now give the floor to my colleague Matteo Botti, who will be your host for the next session. So Matteo, please, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks, Irene, and all. And thank you, everyone, all the 61 of you attending. It's really great, and we've been, supporting the region now for a bit with the project, but now it's time really to showcase solution seekers, solution providers, and try to build this community. So while we engage solution seeker later on, we now want to give a bit of space of the solution providers, right? And the pitching that we have now, it's really aimed at showcasing this grouping of solution. In a website, you will see a number of sectors, a number of transformative solution, etc. But for the sake of this webinar, we try really to get with this a bit clearer and regrouped type of solution and the purpose of the solution. So we look really at waste, waste sorting, waste transformation, so element of circularity, of litter, chemical, wastewater filtering. We also go a little longer and see how this reuse and circularity of plastic can lead to energy, and also look at how solar power shipping solution could work. And then we look also at managing, advising. So as Fedra was saying, we of course look at technical and technological solution, but we also look at guidelines, guidance, ways to change really the business model at the local level. So we look at policy advice and urban sewage networking, etc. So, but without much ado, we really want to go into the pitching presentation. So please, colleague, next slide. So the idea here is that we work in 2 groups of pitching, 4 solutions each. So it will be kind of a pipeline of ideas and more or less advanced solution and pitcher with a long history of these newcomers. We really want to bring every approach. Also, we will look at Mediterranean solutions, or from Spain, from Italy, from Tunisia. I see there's a lot of southern and eastern colleagues here. We look at Monaco, but we also, the focus here is really helping addressing the problem in the Med. So we are open to non-Med, let's say, solution provider from Romania, but also from outside the EU and the UK. So it's really interesting to see how solution coming from elsewhere could be applied here. Then, so we will do a series of pitching on the first session. Then for every session, we will have a feedback and a challenging session by our panelists. So you, Ben Fadel and Jan-Martin de Vet, represent Blue Seeds, dealing with financial and managerial support for marine conservation. Jan-Martin present the Green Assist, which are advisory service for sustainable investment and sustainable support. We've kindly asked each of the 2 to send us 1 slide. So I will give the floor to them. If we go to the next slide, really be quick and to the point, as you will expect from the pitcher.
It seems Matteo is frozen, so maybe we can go straight to you, please, from Blue Seeds.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Irene, and thanks to Matteo for this introduction. I'm very honored to participate as panelist to this webinar. So my name is Yusra Ben Fadel. I'm working at Blue Seeds. I'm in charge of projects development. Yes, thanks for the slide. So Blue Seeds is a French company which aim is to support marine conservation projects with the focus on achieving financial and managerial autonomy through the development of innovative solutions. We work with a range of stakeholders, from marine protected areas managers to coastal communities. We focus on three main fields of activities: the resilience of coastal communities first. We have developed a Blue Business Incubator to support coastal communities implement blue and green small businesses. We have developed a digital tool for MPA managers to facilitate the management of mooring fields and better communicate to boaters who visit these sensitive areas. We work on innovative financial mechanisms like blue carbon projects. In the other hand, we work on effectiveness of marine protected areas with financial planning, the implementation of self-financing mechanisms like visitor fees and concession fees, and also with the sustainable fisheries with a pre-financing mechanism. Yes, again, very happy to be here. Maybe I could share and give some ideas. Our main expertise is on capacity building, and all the solutions we have developed come through very in-depth field insights. So yeah, and maybe to conclude, we manage a network which called Together for the Med, which gather more than 50 entities, NGOs, small and large, working on marine conservation. So yes, happy to join. Thank you, Matteo.
Thank you, yours and all. Thanks also, Irene, for, I mean, my excitement for it was so high that my connection froze, it seems, but I'm back. So thank you both. So I guess we really want to start now getting into the pitching. So if you go to the next slide.
Matteo, sorry, we're still missing Green Assist
presentation.
I'm
sorry,
yeah.
Jan Martin. Okay, please.
No worries.
I thought you were very quick. Please, Jan Martin, the floor is yours then.
I got the message, Matteo. I will be quick. And absolutely delighted to be here. So it's so important, you know, the objectives that we work towards in this mission, especially the plastic pollution targets. 2030 is around the corner, so there's a tremendous, let's say, environmental benefits that can be gained from the project that we're gonna see, hopefully. But of course, there's also a business side to this. Many of you are approaching this as a business, and this is really the struggle. In how to create what I would call a green business models. And this is where Green Assist comes actually around the corner. Green Assist is a technical assistance, a free technical assistance program. It is run by CINEA, Agency of the European Commission, and funded by the LIFE Fund, so DG Environment behind it. And it is able to help and provide free technical advice to advisory services to prepare greener investment projects. And green it means really the environmental side of things. So the caveat is there, we will be talking also about energy projects. Green Assist is focusing more on really the greening and less so on the renewable energy part. I say that right away. But the good news is it is open to both private and public beneficiaries. And it's a broad range of sectors, including the sectors that we see today, that are eligible for that type of support. So how does it work? It is on demand. So free advisory services are available, and they are provided by specialized experts. We have an overall roster or pool of more than 400 experts who really give that specific expertise, and that is then specifically contracted. So the lens today we'll be looking at is really the green business models. So how will your projects hold up, both from the environmental and from the business side of things? And absolutely delighted to listen and learn from you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Martin, and yours again. And maybe I just take the opportunity of what you just said to also mention that as Blue Mission Med, what we really try to in this community building approach is tapping upon existing other initiative at the regional level as your both initiative, but also we try to our national hub to really build upon what's existing at the country level to really scale up solution, being then technological of sorts. And this business model approach and the investment readiness is really key for all of that. So this is the focus that we want to have in this pitching discussion. So we do have to go to the next slide now. And it's still me. So, but the floor will be really to our pitcher. I hope that, the heat is on. I hope that you're ready for that. We have, of course, preliminary exchanges, maybe few reminders of the rule of the game here. We talk about elevator pitching, although kind of extended elevator pitching. So it's 5 minutes each. We wanted to show a countdown on the screen, but apparently Teams doesn't allow it. So we all have our telephones here. We need to stop in 5 minutes. Our colleagues will send a message when the last minute is clicking so that we can really stay on time. And it's really up to you, pitcher, to keep it short, channel your clear message and powerful message that you have. And then after 4 of this pitching, we will go back to yours and Martin for having some selected discussion and Q&A. We stop it, have a short break, and we start with a new session. So I think next slide, we will have the first pitching round. As said, the next slide, we have 4 solutions. ABSOIL, Santiago Miranda Palomino from Spain, TecnoGrabber, Olga Bayet from Spain again, Classways, Luca Rinaldi, Italy, and POLYCHAETA, Marwin Mokad from Tunisia. So it's quite spread. Floor is yours. I think we can start with the first one. Santiago, if you're ready to go, whenever you're there, shout it and we can start the 5 minutes for you.
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Santiago Miranda, and let me share my computer with all of you, please.
Okay, to be fair, we will start the minutes when you share your slides, so we don't have a technical obstacle on the way.
Okay. When you can see, okay, you can see my computer?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'll start again. My name is Santiago Miranda.
Sorry, Santiago, I'm stopping the counting, but if you can put it also in full screen, I think it's easier for all of us to follow and for you to move next. Fantastic.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your advice. Okay, my name is Santiago Miranda. I'm the CEO of ABSOIL Solution and project manager of the Dragon Tech company. And today I'm going to introduce an EcoBlue project on oil spills. The problem that we want to solve is oil spills, all kind of oil spills. Big oil spill, of course, generate big impacts. Accidents per year, 3 major accidents around the world, more than 3,000 illegal discharges, cost per spill from 10,000 euros to several million. But all these oil spill have key management issues. Low cleaning efficiency, maximum between 10 and 15% you can recover oil, and a lot of new toxic solid and liquid wastes are generated, and nothing is valued at all. Our innovation solution is a process composed by 2 phases. The first phase you can introduce around the spill is very simple. You will have to use an bioabsorbent product, solid. This solid absorbent, when is shared in the liquid oily waste, immediately transfer this liquid to solid waste. You can recover and clean very, very quickly and very fast, because this waste is floating all the time, and only with a net, similar that you can recover the waste in a swimming pool. And after you can recover the waste, you have to transport to our pyrogasification reactor, the second phase, and you transform this solid waste to biofuels, solid, liquid, and gas biofuel. We have a value proposition with amazing targets because our goals are a circular economy with a sustainable biofuel production. Our market is authority ports and surrounding businesses like petrochemical industry, urban and industrial water treatment plants, agricultural and livestock industry, because our raw material are always only and organic waste. With the processing of the cleaning and maintenance of this kind of industry. Our plants, our purification plants have zero impacts. It can work in continuously process, and the size is from 2 tons per day to 150 tons per day. Our business model is in an initial phase with a quick scalable growth. The structure is composed by people with more than 30 years of experience in different sectors like pyrolysis, engineering, chemistry, environmental projects. Our plants have a high profitability, less than 4 years you can amortize the plant. Our market approach is firstly, and the first step, research and development projects with no more than 1 or 2 years, with the goal, the final goal, to obtain a final plan according to the needs of the customers. We are looking for strategic partners.
Sorry, there is a bit of background noise. I think I spotted it. Okay, Santiago, it's good.
Please,
you
Santiago,
can proceed. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much for your help. Our strategic, we are looking for a strategic partner always with a leader authority port and the different industry and businesses around the port that I commented before, for chemical, wastewater treatment plants, farming. Our approach is a pilot center into a research and development project with a cost no more than between 1.5 to 2.5 million euros, and always the same goals: improve cleanup efficiency with the spill, reducing cost, valorizing the spill collecting, and of course, at the end, manufacturing this solid waste spill to biofuels and SAF. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks to you, Santiago. First of all, totally to the point, time-wise, very clear. It's clear your objective. I mean, I imagine our panelists will have some further nasty question for you, but please take notes, Martin and user, of the main element you want to check, because we run to the other one and then we have time for overall discussion. Also, thanks for entering now. So we move to the second one. Olga Bave from Spain, TecnoGrabber.
Yeah. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Yes. Thanks a lot. And also for you, if you can put it full screen, it will be easier. And then when you're ready, we can start the clock.
All right, I'm gonna try.
Please.
Now.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic. Floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So yeah, I am Olga and I am responsible for the TecnoGrabber waste retention systems in the company Techno-Converting Engineering. And we're going to start also with a problem, and it is that millions of tons of plastic waste enter our oceans each year through our rivers. And one of the main problems is that during periods of heavy rainfalls, we have that the urban drainage systems can handle all this water that is coming. So we have this untreated water overflowing directly into our environment. And this is when we find these kind of examples of pictures that I have put here.
mainly because the waste that we find the most are wipes, or the wipes that we flush down the toilet, which we shouldn't, as well as all the plastics and debris that we can find on the streets. So in TecnoConverting, we are an engineering company. We design and manufacture equipment for wastewater treatment plants. And also then we have the TecnoGrabber solution. So to the problem we just talk about. And we have three kinds of solution, okay, for the spillways. The first one are the deflector plates, which you can see here. We have images of when we first installed the deflector plate, and then after, in this case, it was between 4 or 5 heavy rainfalls. So how do they work? When the water overflows in the spillway, the meshes, you can see in this case we have 3 meshes. The meshes retain all the waste, and they get full, no? As you can see here on the image, and I put you the retention capacity that we have calculated, estimated that these meshes can have. Depending on the size of the spillway, we're going to have more or less meshes. The good thing is that because we do the design and manufacture of the equipment, we can adapt the solution to the different needs. And then the second solution that we have are the collars for manifolds. And these ones also work with the mesh that stops the debris directly there at the pipe. And this example we have on the right. In this case, they collected about 600 kilos of waste after between 3 and 4 heavy rainfalls. Then the third solution that we have are these retention clamps. These work a bit different from the other solutions that we saw. We have 2 lines of clamps. Once the first one are full with debris, then we have a second layer of clamps that lifts and can capture even more waste. And these retention clamps can be installed also with the other solutions, so you have more protection, or alone, yeah, as itself. And then, so not only is important not to install a system that can capture the waste, but also to do a maintenance, okay, of the system. So the maintenance is really straightforward. In the case of the meshes, what you have to do is just change the mesh for a new one. And once the mesh is full, as you can see here on the images of some full meshes, then you take it to a recycling point, the closest one you have. And in the case of the retention clamps, you can just clean them using simple tools like a rake, for example. Then, okay, here I wanted to show a little bit the performance that we have. We started with this solution in 2020 here in Spain. We first tried in the city of Sabadell in Catalonia. And then after 5 years, we have calculated that with our systems, we have collected almost 1,000 tons of waste. And we have done more than 300 installations, not only around Spain, as you can see here on the map, but we have done several in other countries like Portugal, France, Andorra, and Italy. And mainly our clients are mainly municipalities, waste management companies, and sometimes also environmental organizations, and as well as private companies. And what we're looking for is to continue expanding our solution, but like not only in Spain but also in other countries, because it's a problem that not only affects, you know, Spain but also in different other countries. And yeah, we are also working on the awareness, so we like to spread the awareness of the problem and to know that there is a solution, not only with our equipment, but also a solution that can start at home, which is like not throwing waste in the toilet. Okay,
If
so
you
we
can
are
wrap,
also
if you
working
can
on
wrap
that.
up,
Yeah.
Olga, because we gave you an extra minute, but we really need to wrap up.
Okay, I was almost done. So yeah, this is it. This was the last slide. And yeah, here's our contact information. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. So yeah, here we really address public waste. You have an history, you have a pipeline, you know, you want to scale up, and we will look at our panelists' question. And again, apologies, we sympathize with the panelists. It's much easier to go one by one, pitching and feedback, but we need to condense a bit to manage the overall discussion. So thanks for taking notes. I think the third out of fourth class waste, Luca Rinaldi from Italy. Please, Luca, step up. And again, when you're ready to show the slides, we start the clock.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we don't see you yet, but we hear you. Okay, great. So when you're ready to show your slides, we can start. Either you're very steady or you're frozen.
Yeah, it seems the latter, no?
Yes. Maybe if you can drop a line to Luca, we move to the next one, POLYCHAETA and Marwen, and from Tunisia. So we also go to the southern shore colleague, and then we go back north later on. Marwen, are you there?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hi there. Yeah, take the floor. Maybe you go first,
Okay.
and then when Luca is back. Again, colleague, if you can contact Luca so he doesn't start speaking when he's back. Please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I will share my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
Luca, as you had some technical issue, we let Marwen first present, and then we go back to you if you don't mind, okay? You're also muted now, but please, Marwen, you go ahead.
Okay.
I start
Sorry,
the time, and
sorry
then
for
we have Luca later on. No
Oh
problem at
yeah,
all.
sorry, but I don't know why.
No worries. I was freezing myself, so I set a good example. But if you don't mind, because
Yeah,
I see.
stop.
Yeah, we
Okay,
start
okay,
POLYCHAETA,
no
and then we get back
problem.
to you.
Yeah.
Okay, please
Okay,
go ahead,
thank you very
Marwen.
much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So I am Marwan Mohded, and I am the co-founder of POLYCHAETA. So at POLYCHAETA, we are tackling the problem of organic waste generated by the aquaculture facilities. So the aquaculture sector is one of the most promoting sector to ensure the food security, but the problem with this aquaculture is the organic waste that generate $10 billion a year. They are spent to remediate the problem and the damage caused by this organic waste generated by the aquaculture facilities. Up to 70% of the biodiversity loss in the surrounding area of aquaculture facilities. And also now we start to have a very strict regulatory pressure to push these aquacultures to good manage and to the best practice of their organic waste. So at POLYCHAETA, based on our circular technology of producing marine worms and the integrated multi-trophic aquaculture technology, we succeed to integrate marine worms farming with and co-produced with fish or shrimp facilities. So it means that the organic waste generated by a fish or shrimp farming, instead of being discharged directly in the ocean, they will go through tanks with marine worms, and this organic waste, they will feed the marine worms, and at the end of the process, the aquaculture facilities, he find himself with fish, with marine worms that he can be sold in the international market for 50 euros a kilograms, and less organic waste and less pollution in the ocean. So to help our client to best manage this new marine worms farming, we developed a monitoring system and AI that can help them to best manage this new production process in their farm. So our competitive edge, so POLYCHAETA is pioneering this new category. So compared to a classic marine worm farm or insected-based aquafed or algae-based aquafed, so we are upcycling organic waste at source, and we are co-producing marine worms production with shrimp and fish farm, and also our model is sustainable and scalable. So the impact that we are making with our technologies, that we are helping aquaculture facility to reduce their organic waste, so we can go up to 300 to 520 tons of organic waste avoided each year to be discharged in the ocean. And also we are helping the underpopulate the marine sediments and the surrounding area of the aquaculture facilities with marine worms, and which help to remediate and having a new biodiversity there. So we are talking about $60 billion of aquaculture waste management and also the market of marine worms. So we are targeting the Mediterranean aquaculture, the European aquaculture, and especially the salmon farming for a market size of $9 billion. And our first initial market, it will be, we want to targeting 20 early adopter for $2.54 million. So our business model is based on franchising model. So we will take 30,000 euro per facility is in one shot. It's like an entry fee to give them the expertise of how producing marine worms, and we will take 9 euro per every kilograms of marine worms sold by this new our new client. And so the cost of this technology is based, so it's not it's the main cost of the technology is the support and the resource that we are giving to the new franchisees, and we can have like profit per facility up to 93,000 euro. So actually we validate our test in a lab scale, and now we are cooperating with Ifremer France to make research on pilot stage. And also we have our first adopter, a fish farm in France. Also they want to integrate a marine worm farming with their fish farm and co-produce together, and see the result when we'll start using our technology in a real case and the phase 3. So it will be by 2026 we will start the scale and expansion and to introduce to other market. So the team is composed by Marwan Muqdad and Ahmed Malik. We are two biology engineering with more than 10 years experience in aquaculture and with marine worms farming and selling. And also we have our third co-founder, Stefan Grek. He is a doctor in marine biology with more than 20 years in the aquaculture research. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you to you, Marvin, and thanks, compliments to all. Very, very clear and to the point presentation. Also, great time management. You entered this element of fee structure, which is also quite interesting. So you have elaborated more on your business model. But then we go back to Luca, and after that I leave the floor to the two panelists. So Luca, if you're still there, please, floor is yours. Maybe connection is not helping Luca. If so, we can.
I have a bad connection.
Try if without your video and maybe only the slide and see if it goes, or we can try later as part of the second batch. Yeah, maybe we postpone this. So I would say we move to the panelists, and Jules and Jan-Martin, thanks a lot for being here, for your support overall, for your patience taking notes. And yeah, I think the idea could be thanks colleague. So I think the idea could be to maybe each of you, we can start having a question each for a solution, but as you prefer, so that once this session is stopped, we can take a brief break, and then we move to the second. Unless Luca is resurrected. We see your slide now. But not much more than that. Yeah, I will move to the questions, Luca, and then we try to fix this, as they say, try to maybe reconnect. So yes, if we can re-show our presentation, and sorry for that. Something is happening with Luca connectivity.
We're trying to put our presentation up. Just give us a sec.
Yes, fantastic. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so I will say lady first, if you don't mind, Martin. So use, have you, I mean, you have seen all this presentation. Okay, great. So yeah, feel free to start maybe or pose your question and we engage with the solution. Of course, you might have zillions of questions. Maybe you pick one question per solution or those that you feel better and we try to complement. Floor is yours, please.
Well, thank you.
Ladies first.
Okay.
Maybe we can show, I mean, we know that they two are, but maybe, yeah, might help them if we put the name of a solution. So, yeah.
Okay,
please. Thanks
I'll
to you.
start. Well, first, thanks a lot to all of you for these presentations and for sharing your ideas. It's very interesting and insightful. Maybe I ask one question per project.
Yes.
Okay, so first question for Santiago. So if I understood well, you are at the research and development phase. And you are looking for funding to implement the first pilot center. I was wondering, first, if you are interested in exploring funding opportunities from environmental grants, or are you looking for a first fund for implementing? And the second question is regarding the comparative advantage with regard with existing absorbents that might exist on the market. I'm not very aware about it.
Okay, I'm going to answer your question. The bioabsorbent that we are using in this circular economy process is a product that is homologated and recognized in some different continents, for example, in America. But the concept of the circular economy is from our companies. The idea is from our companies, because you have different bioabsorbent. I think that we are working with the best eco-absorbent in the world. And at the same time, you have different valorization plants, thermovalorization plants. And we are now working in our team. We are working with pyrogasification plants in a continuous process. And this is really interesting because these plants can work more than 300 years days per year. Sorry. So in global, the project is really interesting. For example, I have seen the second project, and with these biogasification plants, we can valorize the solid waste that TecnoGrabber attract with its technology. So these plants are really interesting. So sorry, because my explanation is not for the point that you have asked for me. We are now looking for grants. Looking for grants always with authority posts, because we know that they have the strong, they have the power to obtain this, not only the money, mainly is the support of all the industry and all the businesses around this authority port.
Thank you, Santiago. And maybe also I take the chance to remind everyone that we also posted the link to the solution so that all the seeker can get more information while the panel is discussing. Please, yours. Second question.
Sorry.
Oh.
I think I can do it. I have the pitch, so no problem.
Luca, if you don't mind, because now we started the question, so if you don't mind, we put you in the next slot. Okay, so you start the next slot, and we will have a break before, so we can also test it. And okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Sorry.
I don't know why.
No, don't worry. No problem.
Thank
Please,
you very
yours.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Matteo, perhaps we can stay with the
yes.
for a
Let's
moment.
ping pong then. Yeah.
Because
Go ahead,
then we
Martin.
can, otherwise we go back and forth and we all get confused. So perhaps building on users' comments. So it's a very interesting project. I mean, phenomenal from environmental perspective indeed. And I was very fascinated by the numbers, also not only by the oil spills, but also about the very high number of illegal discharges. And it brings me to my main question indeed. So what is the business model, as I was anticipating, behind your project? You say project, right? So it's interesting also because a project normally has a beginning and an end. So I don't know where the end of your project will be. I hope not soon. But I can imagine that you would have several revenue streams. One of them could be, of course, the selling of the biofuel. But I could also imagine that there would be actors like shipping companies or ports or other regions or municipalities who will be interested in selling the services. So that's not very clear yet. And also understanding that, of course, the pyrogasification process is, as you say, can be quite performing. But I also struggle a little bit to understand the distances. So it may be that you really need to have these installations far afield. So you may, in addition to the high upfront costs, the capex costs, also have possibly high transport costs. So I'm wondering a little bit whether you got the costing and the revenue streams already there, or whether that is the next stage of your project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. We have a first experimental plant in Catalonia with this around 5 ton per day, the production, and we have done different tests with different waste. The results are really interesting. For example, the result with the bioabsorbent with oily waste were really interesting, because the final product approach approx 30% was biofuel, liquid biofuel, similar than the SAF, the Sustainable Aviation Fuel. So it's really interesting. And the other biofuels, we are talking about biochar, solid waste, that is interesting for the fields, to the agronomic destiny. And finally, syngas. The syngas, this gas biofuel, is very powered to obtain electricity and other exit to the market. So that is the global situation, that these kind of plants are very, very interesting to the market, because when I in my slide I explained that it was less than 4 years to obtain the revenue. This is true. This is we have some business plan that only you need 2 years to obtain the invest at the end. So, and of course, we admit authority ports, organic waste from the fishing markets, organic waste from the waste water treatment plant. Is a big market, and is really interesting. And sometimes you don't need the bioabsorbent in your first stage. In the first stage is when we are talking about spills on land and spills on water.
Thank you very much, Santiago. Yeah, maybe Martin, we can do then the ping pong, and so you can pick a question to another one, and then yours will follow. So you have all fair chance to pick the original question yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Please, Martin. Yeah, if you have a question to TecnoGrabber or POLYCHAETA.
Sure. I mean, happy to use it to dig lead, and then let's talk about TecnoGrabber. Fantastic presentation, very also a nice project, and clear the environmental benefits that you claim will be very impressive to achieve. A few questions there. So you bring in several technologies, and it will be good to see how the technologies also here relate to alternatives already out there, because obviously there are already some existing technologies to prevent the plastic waste to enter indeed probably the water streams and then ultimately the sea. Also here, I'm not fully sure what the business model is, in the sense that you refer to the fact that you would focus on design and manufacturing, and I was wondering, would it not also be a consideration to actually operate or to service this, so that you would actually have a kind of lease agreement with operators such as waste companies or waste treatment companies or municipalities? So that could be interesting to have a full service model. I was wondering whether you have any thought about that one. Yeah, that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, and please, Olga.
Hi. Okay. Thank you, Jan, for your questions. And yeah, here in Spain, that we know, we are the only company offering this kind of solution. But right now, that I couldn't mention in the presentation because I didn't have time, in Spain there is a royal decree that mandates the installation of a system on the spillways. That's why right now we are being contacted with more and more municipalities, especially because they really have to follow with that. And we mainly do B2B. You know, as I said, we really work with water management companies and that. And yeah, our main business, as I mentioned a little bit, is not this. It's not the TecnoGrabber system. This is just a part of it. But what we do is like the design of the equipment, and so it's a scalable solution, and we can adapt. And then we do the manufacturing and also the installation here in some parts of Spain, like Catalonia or or Madrid. And then what you said another question, I think, but
Yeah, it was the performance in relation to existing technology, but you said this is the only technology, but I understand your point there.
yeah,
It
at
was about
least
the
it's
operation, but you will be interested in also operating or servicing equipment. So your involvement stops after installation. But I was wondering whether it would be interesting to actually remain engaged, perhaps also as maintenance of the equipment. Just a
yeah.
question whether you can stay longer involved in the operations.
Yeah, that's a good question actually, because we are offering also the maintenance of the systems. And right now we are doing it in Catalonia and in Madrid, because we have a collaboration with a company that works in Madrid and has got the right team to do that. And we now do it in Catalonia because our facilities, are in close to Barcelona, and it's easier for us to manage. But yeah, as you saw in the presentation, this is a system that will need some maintenance. So it's a continuous, we will need to continue with that. And yeah, we've been offering the maintenance for 1 year now. Yeah. And it's working really well because we also manage the waste. We have here in our facilities containers, so we can take also the waste here, and then we take it to we have a company that recycles the waste. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Olga. So yeah, I see you're all very well advanced in your piloting and testing and commercial scalability. But then yours, if you have additional questions.
Yes, thank you, Olga, for this great presentation. And especially for the pictures you shared, I think it's very impactful to show all this waste. I had a question regarding the maybe monitoring or sharing data about the typology of waste you collect. And maybe it could be interesting to use it as a awareness tool. I don't know if you already do that or no. And the other point, actually, you more or less answered it because it was about the type of clients you have. You said that it's mainly municipalities, but maybe outside of Spain, some municipalities are not able to purchase this type of equipment, and maybe the good entrance could be the NGOs or a partnership with private companies. Yes, it was just an idea to share.
Yeah, thank you for your questions also. We do also offer monitoring cameras where the clients can see once the meshes are full or not. And right now we don't have, we are not analyzing the waste here in our company, but we do have some clients that we know that when they do the maintenance, they take the waste and they analyze what kind of waste do they receive. So this is really important to, especially some water management companies, because they really want to know what's in there. So I think it will be like the next step that is almost happening now, no? Like what kind of waste is arriving. And with that information that we have from these companies, we know that the 90% of waste it's water wipes that are flushed down the toilets, which is giving the most problem. And then what you said, yeah, our clients, it really depends, knowing who is in charge of the spillway, because mainly it would be like the municipalities, not the public administration and that. But we have worked also with some NGOs, as you said, just a few, no, but there are some NGOs that now are entering and trying to also install these systems, as well as private companies that get our systems to install them in different locations.
Thank you.
I hope
Thank
I
you very
answered
much.
the questions.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And maybe yours, if you can, then we can go a quick round of last question to POLYCHAETA, so we can take a brief break and then go move to the next. Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, again, thank you. Very great presentation and very complete. We got a clear overview or the offer of your company or project. I had a question regarding the scaling strategy. You said you are yes, you are developing some. Well, I forgot the word. Well, scaling strategy, and the question was, how do you adapt to specific climate conditions outside of the pilot site? Is there some challenges that you have to face in order to scale in other areas in the Med? Is it a question mark or no? And the other question was about revenue diversification. I don't know if your this organic waste is used only in aquaculture. I mean, or is it also possible to explore other valuable sectors like cosmetics or pharmaceutics for your end product? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your questions. So for the first question, the species that we are producing is a Mediterranean species. So it's coming from the Mediterranean. We can find it in all the Mediterranean region, and also we can find it in the Atlantic side. It's a temperated species which can be farmed from 5 degrees to 30 degrees. So which allow us a big marsh that we can duplicate our model in many countries, but we are targeting the countries that they have like a climate condition like very similar to the Mediterranean weather, and also climate change it's a big problem now, and we already face it a problem with climate change. We in 2022 we lost about 80% of our crops because of hot waves, and from that we develop a new strategy to reduce the risk of losing crops, and also to make our process climate resistant to the climate fluctuation. We increase oxygenation. We are using chillers. We are using a lot of new methods to make the best condition for our production process, and also the monitoring system that we develop. We will help our client to best manage and to see and to monitor in real time the condition of marine worms production, and if there is any problem, they will be predicted by the AI model that we develop. So this is for the first question, and for the second question, so the marine worms mainly now they are used as a bait, so for fishing, for angling, and also are used as boost fed for shrimp industry and for the shrimp maturation, and so it's the application of marine worms is very related to the species, marine species, because marine worms they are farmed in salt water. So we are very related to the application of the marine worms, and in cosmetics, I don't know if they can use it, but I know that they are used in health application. We found a solution to use the blood of some species to substitute the blood of human, and as well it was developed by a French company. And also there is other application in health and in depollution. Especially you can use them in bioaccumulating heavy metal and marine and organic contamination of the sediments. And also you can use them in health application in the regeneration of cells, because the marine worms, they can regenerate cells very, very quickly.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, perhaps building on that,
Question for
Marvin. Yeah. Thanks very much and congratulations. It's a very impressive presentation, I must say.
Thank you.
Circular aquaculture, a wonderful term also. And also the fact that you work with Ifremer, I think that's very good also. Of course, Ifremer has very solid reputation in the domain, and it would really help to boost the confidence. So if something is almost too good to be true, you wonder, why hasn't it been done before? So that would be good to see indeed, what similar initiatives have been out there. One general point I wanted to make actually today is that, and it was mentioned in the previous presentation, the royal decree. Of course, there's a lot of legislation, and also in your case, Marvin, you want to also sell, of course, the products to the EU. It will be good to check. I'm sure you've done that already. What are the rules and regulations that are there out there that would you need to comply with in order to be able to sell it as fish feeds on the EU market? And obviously that also I could imagine there could be also risks related to diseases or the worms or whatever that could be also important, of course, to look into. So that's of course things to check with you. And I was on the revenue model then intrigued. You have an expert fee, a flat fee that you apply, and also the worm sales fee. And there I was not quite sure how you would monitor and how to secure that actually every aquaculture installation is indeed willing to report to you that they sell these, and how to monitor those sales, because it would be very important for your module. So thank you.
Yes, okay, thank you for the questions. So in fact, our client will provide them the expertise, and also will give them the larva of marine worms. So in fact, we are not giving them all the process, because of the process of marine worms production. We have sexual maturity, reproduction, and fattening of the larva. So to be sure that our new client, we can monitor them and control them, we will give them the larva. So we'll be always depending from us, because without our larva, they cannot produce marine worms. So this is how we can control them, by the number of the larva that we are giving. So if I give you 1,000, let's say 2,000 larvae, I know that 2,000 larvae at the end, it will be 1 kilogram. So if you make like a calculation of mortality, so we know how much you will have at the end of production. And so this is why we are handling, and we are always having control of our franchisees in terms of protecting of our IP, and also the protection of to know and to monitor how much they are selling and how much we will have revenue from them.
Thank you much all. Great question. I think great answer. You managed the pressure. I think what we do now is as follows. So if we can go to the next slide, colleagues, we should have a pause. We will just change this into 5 minutes, not 10 minutes. I think we can manage, and also there's a good flow. We also need to catch up a little bit. So Luca, we will check in the pause that all the connection is good. So then, colleagues, if we can change when we pause this 10 minutes into 5, meaning that we will be back and we can write it in a chat. Well, at 2 p.m. I think it'll be 6 minutes. So we're back at 2 p.m. CET in 6 minutes. Thank you very much. Please, stay in, just mute yourself, stretch a bit if you want. And we're back soon. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you all. Just getting back to signal, we're about to start. I see Luca is here, yeah, Martin, waiting for the other panelists and pictures.
I'm ready. Yeah, just now I'm ready.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I think we can start again. Maybe if I think we manage the presentation. No, we start again with class waste, if you don't mind. So Luca can start. We have a last round of questions from Jus and Jan Martin, and then we move to the other one. So we keep the dynamic. So please, Luca, floor is yours, and I start my counting.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Luca Rinaldi and I come from Italy and the CEO co-founder of Class Waste. Class Waste has a technology solution that resolving two problems important, that it's increasing and differentiated pollution in the aquatic environment and lack of monitoring in the immediate alert. And this can damage the ecosystem and threaten humans. So I want to present our solution. Our solution is a patented technology combining hardware and software. So a camera and the software can image classification. So we can classification the image with AI and counting and geolocalization the waste in the water and collection data and processing. So we can collecting data for all the plastic, for all the pollution in the water and monitoring continues. So we can we can continue monitoring for the in the technology. And I want to do why Class Waste. Class Waste offer data-driven, so Class Waste doesn't just collect the waste, but provide an actionable insight to prevent the future pollution and a scalable and versatile technology, because we can arrive from our client, that is water waste companies in B2G, so government, and all over the who collect the water, the pollution in the water. So we create a circular economy, because we with this data we can arrive to have we want to our data monetization model transforms the waste management into a profit center, and we are leading the way, because this more than a business opportunity for the waste company. And we have our business model, with B2B and B2G. So the hardware sales, okay, so camera and infrastructure ET, and analysis software license and data monetization with the license. In our client, that is water waste management company, ESG consulting company, research center, municipality and government. The next step, we start the technology in 2024 with the water waste management company here in Italy, and we approved the POC and then patented the technology in the October 24. We started to do a lot of a concept with the first Italian partnership here now in May, and I say that we want to find a partnership, Europe partnership, and also fund to scale the technology. So from 80% to 100% of the classification, the image classification AI, and scale up to Europe. Why this? Because we are a team, expert team. So I'm here, I'm Luca Rinaldi, CEO and co-founder of class waste. I have more 15 years experience as sales director, and Gianangelo Gemignani, CTO and co-founder, elected president of the Republic of San Marino Innovation, and lawyer Stefania Varca, head of legal, and representative of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in United Emirates. So this is our team, and thank you for the attention.
Thank you. Thanks to you, Luca, also for your patience and being back. 30 minutes less than the 5 minutes, 30 seconds less than 5 minutes. So we have more time for discussion. I mean, it would be interesting, for example, to know more of your revenue model, but I leave our panelists to pose a question each. So please, yours, and then Martin, and then we move to the next.
Yes, thank you. Very interesting concept. I believe that data-driven projects are really important for decision makers. So it's good to hear this type of ideas. I had a question because I know that digital solutions, this type of products face a lot of demands for customizable features. And now you succeeded for your first pilot and you want to replicate, and probably you will face this type of demands because there will be specific legal maybe frameworks, this type of things, and they will maybe ask for adaptability. Is this something you have already taken into account, and is it feasible? Because I know it will engage more financing also. So yes.
Yeah. Our technology is visible. So we start to try in the port of Ancona in Italy to for a POC, and then the company leave the project, but we have find another Italian partnership that can ask to classification more pollution in the water, and also we now start to put in a camera in like in the river, so, and also in the lake, because we want to train the AI solution, and this is our technology. This is our technology. Yeah. So I understand the question.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thanks a lot. Please, Martin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Luca. Great to have you. I think I understand what you're doing, but I was wondering whether you could perhaps also in your pitch elaborate a bit on what is the value of the classification, because I understand, of course, that if you classify the waste, that the waste becomes more valuable, and that you can actually that your clients can actually better treat and sell their waste. And I was wondering whether you can perhaps quantify also in some way or another for your clients what will be the benefits of that. And that could possibly help you also in rolling out. I just wonder whether you have some numbers, and then also whether indeed, I mean, you stop with the classification, but whether there will be some ways to remain engaged, perhaps also later in the value chain of the waste. Thank you.
The technology is for the two questions. The first, if I know, the technology can the value of our client is that can monitoring immediately what they collect. So now at 24 hours. So because we must have electricity, so we can the camera gone every day. So the value also for the the client is can see the data collection, so the waste that they collected. So they want to sorry for my English, because I I just because the our Italian partnership, so that we have now want to see all the waste that collect, because in Italian there is in Italy there is an important problem that a lot of river and a lot of industry must leave the pollution, so leave the plastic, leave a lot of things, also in the south of Italy, principally in the south of Italy. So a lot of company want to monitoring this problem. Okay, the scalability of this technology is it's we want to apologize of water waste management company, because because I think we not collect that, but we offer a technology can approve that we collect.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thank you all. Thank you very much. So I think we can move to the second session. And thank you all. If you can bring back our presentation, Marta and Andrea, and we have this other 4 solutions, 3 of which are outside the MED, but still interesting and interested in expanding in the MED. So 2 are from Romania, ABSOIL, waste to energy, Recycllux in plastic collection, although I understand Recycllux is interested or is not, if not, has already opened up some branches in Malta. And then Beyond Plastic Med from Monaco, and a UK solution, CEBOX. So if Roger, you're ready, we can start.
Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic. Floor is yours. Whenever you share your slide, we make the countdown start. And thanks again for the panelists for their patience and resilience to this intense session.
Okay,
fantastic. Go ahead.
Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes, it starts now.
Okay, we are ABSOIL, Power to X, and we're a waste to energy, and more specifically from unrecyclable plastic and end-of-life ties, we can produce energy in the form of hydrogen, ammonia, or methanol. So, and this is our mission here, is to fight against plastic pollution in the Mediterranean, but then in all oceans. And we are a waste elimination company that can produce hydrogen from this unrecyclable plastic and end-of-life ties. Now I can't move it. Okay, this is a problem, and I'm sure you're all aware of it. And what we're trying to do is stop it going into landfill, and then stop it from emitting also CO2 and methane. And as you can see by the beach toys there, most of this plastic is unrecyclable and eventually will end up to be incinerated, creating pollution, and in landfill, and then in the watercourses that will end up in the ocean. Apparently, the equivalent of dumping something like 34,000 plastic bottles every minute goes into the Mediterranean. These are not my figures, but these are, I've fact-checked these particular figures. So how do we do this? we're working with TRESOL standalone facilities that are modular, and they're small complexes. They're integrated through a digital twin, and TRESOL waste to energy solution converts plastic into hydrogen, ammonia, and we also make our own electricity. So it contributes to CO2 because we capture the actual CO2 and we turn it into solid carbon. Next slide. Okay, this is how we do it. So from 50 tons of unrecyclable plastic, it immediately goes, it is shredded and goes into our reactor, which is the decentralized modular gasifier reactor. And we can produce hydrogen, electricity, and we have a lot of spare heat because we work at very high temperatures. And it's all about turning this trash into treasure. And as a byproduct, we can also produce carbon black. Carbon black is a new innovative material. It's called the miracle material. It's actually, we can sell it to the tire industry, and from plastic and end-of-life tires. We can produce hydrogen and then sell it to the Pirellis, Michelins, Goodyear, Continentals. And also this carbon black is also goes into sort of the inks, paints industry, and it goes into a lot of the new sort of material for batteries, for solar panels, for semiconductors. And it's all integrated, which the multidisciplinary digital twin, it integrates the whole and will give us, this is all prior to the actual production of the main plant. And below you'll see it has many sort of savings, cost savings. The business model and is a two-stage implementation. And the first stage will be to build the digital twin, which is a sort of system of systems for precise integration, simulation, optimization before the physical. The stakeholders and investment partners will be able to sort of interact with the digital twin prior to sort of actually purchasing the software and the construction of the main plant. What we need now is our phase 2 digital twin funds, and this will then pay for the actual digital twin, which is quite it's a different type of digital twin to what's normally available. It will actually construct a plant as a first, and then monitor and all the sort of auditing in real time, and also will save a lot of the emissions, and we can actually collect our credits.
Okay.
Carbon credits.
Thank you very much, Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now. Thank you very much. So yeah, maybe we start with Jan-Martin and then we go to yours. Well, I mean, yeah. Also up to you if you prefer to go one by one in the question, or we want to do the list of presentation, but as you prefer, really.
Happy to do one by one, because then we can really focus on a bit. Just very nice, Roger. I think, you know, we met at some stage before, and I heard about your project, which is really very impressive. It seems the question, I mean, it seems that it is quite a capital intensive exercise. And
Yes.
therefore, indeed, it would be good to have a better grasp on the numbers of the capital investments you require, and also what sources of funding you're looking for, and of course, how that would relate to the potential revenue streams. I mean, also in the location where you are, it may also be that it's good to know what are the prices that you can command. So, yeah, that is actually a general question on the business model, as to indeed, you have some idea already on whether it will be financially feasible, or whether you would indeed count on some public funds when it comes to helping you with the investment, front investment. Thank you.
Yeah, we're actually we're working with a company that's also works for Microsoft and for Amazon and many other global brands. They're very keen on doing the digital twin for us, which will first of all construct the whole plant, and then we'll go into the operational phase. And they think that this could be replicated not only in all the ports, the ships, the islands, and also in Europe, and we can also sell the carbon black to the tire industry. Most of the carbon black used to come in from Russia, from Belarus, and from China. Now we can make all this in Europe, not only the energy, but this new material, which is going to expand greatly. So, and we'll be able to order the emissions as well as the input production and the output sales.
Thank you very much, Roger. User, if you have questions, also please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Very interesting project as well. I had a question about potential partnerships that you have maybe already started building for this project, but I think you more or less answered already this point.
Yes.
And yeah, and regarding the carbon black, is it intended for a circular economy, or is it intended to be sold yes, as a resource?
It all depends on the market, what's needed, I mean, yes, I think all the tire companies, and here in Romania, we have 7 tire companies, Michelin, Pirelli, Continental, and loads of others. They use 3 kilos of carbon black for every standard car tire. And actually, now that the EV tires are going to be something like 30% more larger, so you will need extra carbon black. And as you know now, importing is a problem, and we'll be able to produce it if it's needed near where the market is. Rebel Dot is our partner. They are very keen on. They think that they can sell the actual software prior to the construction, to once we replicate it throughout Europe. And we could sort of, if the actual physical build is between 35 to 40 million, you're talking about, if we sell it for a couple of percentage, you're talking about a lot of money. And this can be sold prior to even sort of the construction begins. And it will not only give us all the blueprints for building the actual plant, but then it will go into the operational phase where we can monitor in real time all the emissions controls, all the logistics, all the input feeds, and the output sales.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Very
Roger.
complete answer. Thank you.
And thank you all. So yeah, we move to the next one, still Romania-based, but maybe already moved to Malta, Recycllux. I think, Sorina, you should be around, you said before.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, a little soft, but we hear you.
I'm going to share my screen.
Please do.
Tell me if you see my screen.
We saw your Google, but now we see your screen. So yes, please put it at full screen and we start. Fantastic.
I'm Sorina Ulea, founder and CEO at Recycllux. We are building the digital backbone for marine plastic cleanup. I'm an entrepreneur. I previously co-founded ChemChain, sold to 3E in 2023. The plastic value chain is going broken. Each year, 12 million tons flow into the sea, devastating ecosystems and driving 350 billion in global costs. Companies are spending billions on compliance, yet they lack the tools to prove real, traceable results. Everyone pays for the damage, fines, lost revenue and reputation. We are building the tools to fix it. Recycllux turns every cleanup into a plastic offset action. We work with manufacturers that use plastic in products and packaging. We help them take ownership of their plastic footprint through certified cleanups and traceable results from the moment the waste is detected all the way to recycling or recovery. We use satellite data and AI to find plastic spots in the sea. Then, like Uber, we match that pollution with cleanup capacity, activating local fishing vessels, NGOs, and recyclers. Everything is tracked on blockchain, delivering certified reports for compliance and sustainability. We create jobs into local economies, supporting resilience and community engagement. Recycllux is to clean up what booking is to travel, an operating system that connects stakeholders, coordinates interventions, and scales impact. Companies and NGOs tackle the problem from various angles, but none provide a fully integrated approach. We provide the infrastructure that turns compliance into impact and plastic cleanup into a scalable solution. And we don't replace other players, we empower them. Everybody can plug in into our platform and work smarter, faster, and with measurable results. This is a multi-billion euro opportunity. In Europe, 85,000 companies are impacted by plastic regulations and spend over 2 billion annually on compliance. Our work is already recognized. We are part of the 80 Climate portfolio. Our results are published in our Horizon Results platform, and our action is included in the EU Mission Ocean Charter. We won multiple awards for impact and innovation. We have a subscription-based model depending on companies' plastic offsetting needs. Next year, we'll open an AI detection service for coastal authorities and ports. We already have traction to sign paying pilot customers and all deployment partners secured, and the grant from Social Tides and Google to launch and validate our commercial platform in the Black Sea by September. Our subsidiary registration in Malta is underway. We expected it also by September, setting the ground for our scaling in the Mediterranean. Our team of 9 plans senior tech and business, and with 55% women leadership. To date, we've raised 200K in funding, both grant and equity, and we are just getting started. We believe that Blue Mission Med could fuel our European expansion because we are looking for deployment partners to get other potential offsetting clients, and we look for investor introduction for our 1 million seed round planning Q4. Scale a solution that the planet cannot afford to ignore. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Sorina. Very rich presentation in a very short time, 3 minutes 30. You're the winner in that respect. I guess it might have triggered quite some comments and reflection from our panelists. So maybe User and then Martin, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Sorina. Very interesting project as well. A lot of information. So I'm asking 2 little questions for you. Do you combine the data satellite imagery with on-field data collection? I mean, do we need to do both before the collecting process?
It depends. Our current model, yes, combines satellite from Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 data. And we've got ground images for the Black Sea geography. And we've practically we created our own data set where we trained the algorithm in order, because we were getting a lot of false positives depending on various parts of the sea, but now we are looking to overcome this. And our team is currently researching using another model, not based on deep learning as we do now, but based on computer vision. But it's underway. Right now, yes, we use both.
Okay, thank you. And you talked about detection reports. What is that for? And you said also that it is available, the platform is available for everybody. So it means that, I don't know, a school that wants to make an event with the students can have access also to the points of collection? How does that work?
So, first of all, the platform can be used by all the other players that are doing marine interventions, because we trace the plastic from when it's detected to the sea to bringing it to shore, to sorting it, to send it to the recycling, to the repurposing, to incorporating into the cement, even to schools to use it in waste to art initiatives. And we have this in our first pilot that we'll do in September. And practically all the other players that are now doing interventions, but they don't have all the detection, collection, and impact reporting, they can plug in, because we white label it, and they can use it as their own interface for managing interventions. In terms of the former question, sorry. So let's return, because you asked another question in the beginning.
Yes, for detection report.
Yes, for the detection and reporting. Right now, the reports are the KPIs for the company to be able to report to EPR or for the sustainability commitment under which they pay for the interventions. And for the authorities, we'll be able to show them a map of the plastic accumulation in the area that they are responsible for, or for the ports in the to trace on the maritime corridor that they are responsible for, in order for them to be able to respond to requirements from the Marine Framework Strategy Directive or from IMO, and then they can decide if they will coordinate interventions using us, or they will do interventions on their own. But practically they will have an overview of what they need to do to act and to be compliant with their own regulations. Okay. We currently detect, but we don't provide these paying reports, because we have first to validate it with customers. Our customers now, we have one cosmetics company that uses plastic for the bottles, for the creams, and we have one pharma company that is doing the vitamins droppings into plastic bottles. So practically right now we just validated with the companies. That's why we didn't launch yet the model.
Thank you, Sorina. And thank you very much, user. Yeah, Martin. Let's try to keep maybe one question per
yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for the punchy presentation. Yeah, there seems to be no shortage of supply when it comes to the plastic, but my question is on the demand, and I'm intrigued also by your point on the compliance.
Yes.
There's a bit of background.
Yeah, there might be some. I don't know if it's yours, Sorina. If you can mute and then you answer later, because it might be your headphones. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's better. So, I mean, of course, there have been, quite some challenges for similar initiatives in the past, with virgin plastic being cheaper, recycled plastic having quality issues, collection, sorting, etc., etc. But I'm intrigued by the regulatory push, so to say. So it's of course, the packaging and packaging waste regulation is an important one, and it would be good to see whether you have a sufficient view and a good view on how this and other legislations are going to actually effectively push your demand and also push up the prices for your product. It would be very good to hear more about it, whether you have already insights in that, and that would, boost your demand, so to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. So we work with the European legislation that is translated into the national legislation of each of the countries. And for example, here in Romania, because here we have the first two customers here, the legislation is asking them to set up extended producer responsibility ownership, but it does not mandate them to specifically go in the sea and take up the plastic. This is true. However, the way the EPR is set up right now is that they are going to a consultancy company that recommends some measures, and then they are going to a recycler, and then they are going to a third party, and in the end they have some papers. And the problem that the customers came to us, it was that they felt that it's greenwashing and everything is on the paper and nobody's doing anything. And they were specifically excited about the fact that we trace everything, because each step is recorded on blockchain, and in the end they can have traceable results and they can use it for complying. So this is why they came to us. And for Tekir, for the cosmetics company, even though they have also compliance requirements, practically they want to be in the social media and they want to show that they are doing something important. And this was validated also when I went in Milan. I had a meeting with the fashion industry there, and I got a lot of requests, and that's why I'm setting up the subsidiary in the Mediterranean, because they said that also for the sustainability and for the publicity part, that they would like to sponsor marine plastic cleanup interventions, however, not in the Black Sea. So it depends on what moves each of the customer. And I think I've only calculated the market based on the compliance, but I believe that the sustainability market is much higher.
Thank you, Soreen, and all. So a lot of promising ideas and concrete development also for the MED. We can discuss later on in the marketplace, of course, of those, because now we move to Monaco. I understand whether so far we're more technological solution. Now, if I'm not mistaken, might be a bit more of a innovative models and support services. But I call Elodie Solal for explaining that in her own words. And thank you, Elodie. Let us know when you're ready and we start.
Okay, I think
yes.
You can now see my screen.
Yes, we also launched the clock. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So hello everyone, I'm Elodie Solal, and today I'm representing Beyond Plastic Med, which is an association that, as its name indicates, fights plastic pollution in the Mediterranean Sea, and is based in Monaco, but the project that I will present to you today started in Monaco, was applied in France, Tunisia, is going to be applied now in Cyprus, and more to come as we're still recruiting more hotels to join this movement. So as I think we've had multiple numbers of the problem of plastic pollution in the Mediterranean, just maybe I think one number that highlights and maybe speaks a little bit more to my mind is that the amount of plastic that enter each year the Mediterranean, or maybe each day, is 500 containers of plastic. So that is really massive. And maybe another information that I find quite interesting is that every summer, during the high touristic season, the problematic, so the amount of plastic that enters the ocean is increased by 30%. So we see that there's a very direct link between the tourism industry and both plastic pollution, but also that this plastic pollution will have a negative impact on the tourism industry if nothing is done, as of course it deteriorates the environment, can affect the beauty of every destination, and hence impact negatively the attractivity of the different locations. So what BMM did is not a technical solution. It's more of an adaptable and robust methodology to support different hotels in tackling their single-use plastic production. The methodology is in 6 key steps, so it's very adaptable both to every specific context, so in different types of country around the Mediterranean or even around the world, but also to different levels of advancement. If you have done nothing towards to reducing your own plastic footprint, then this solution can still can work for you. But if you're still very advanced and you have already done a lot of work, it will still work for you. So 6 key steps, and the goal is really to help hotels. Well, first goal, of course, is to help reduce their plastic footprints. But while doing this, we do not want to have any transfer of impact. By that, I mean we don't want to replace plastic by another solution that will have another negative impact on the environment. The pilot project that we have made also proves that this methodology allows hotels to make some economies. And also, one key point of this methodology is to also embark both the staff and the clients of the hotels, because the social component, when you're trying to make some such changes, is really important. So as I said, this pilot, this project, this methodology has been tested by BMM in 2 pilot hotels. Once the first one in Marseille, then we adapted this project in Tunisia, and another hotel applied it in autonomy, and that was one hotel in Paris. From this methodology, we have developed 2 guides, both derived from the pilot project that we had. Those are all available on Beyond Plastic Med website, but also some solution sheets. So if you have your hotel and you have a specific plastic and you want to know what you can do to reduce it, then you can go look at those very practical solution sheets. What we're doing now, which is our new value proposition, is that we're launching an applied distance learning course that follows every steps of the methodology. That is targeted towards hotel and organizations fighting the plastic pollution. The idea of this formation is that it's really applied, and that you have, during a session, we present the first step of the methodology, then you go back, that's online, of course, because we're going to have hotels from all around the Mediterranean Sea. And then when you go back in your hotel, then you apply the methodology, and if you have any question, you can contact the organization team to be helped. So that's really, and that way the groups, the different hotels that will be part of the project will all work together simultaneously to reduce the plastic pollution and be able to have exchange, discussion, and other thing. Key differentiator, I think, for this training is that it's highly practical. It's both in French and in English. There's a particular attention to how to embark the whole staff's hotel. It's both collective but also individual, and the hotel that participate will have access to scientific committee and NGOs. And what are we looking for? I'll be very brief. Recruiting new hotels. Our first online session is planned on the 3rd of June, and we've already 3 hotels and 2 organizations that have joined us, but there's still room for more hotels. And from all of you, spreading the words and disseminating the method and the tools, working together with partners to act on plastic pollution in the Mediterranean.
Thank you very much.
I think that was it.
Thank you very much, Elodie. Thanks a lot. Not the technological solution, but certainly a very important one. So maybe Jan-Martin and then use any question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Elodie. Very inspiring. I understand that you're doing this from an association, so you may not have the full commercial implication, but nevertheless, I stick to my commercial side of things. What is, I think, very important to emphasize, perhaps a bit stronger in your pitch, is the regulatory push again. So, if not mistaken, the packaging and packaging waste regulation has entered into force in February this year, and I mean, also building a little bit on the previous exchange, it's a regulation, so there's no need to have it transposed anymore, and that would really mean for EU level actors, including hotels, there's really a need to address the single-use plastic issue. So there seems to be really an urgent need now from the regulations on hotels to get rid of the single-use plastic. So it would be perhaps good to hear indeed whether you can strengthen it. And I had one idea suggestion. I don't know if you want to do more commercial. It would also be nice perhaps to have suggestions on what to replace it with. So there may be, let's say, alternative producers or importers of more environmentally friendly products that could be interested in working with you, on which you could perhaps get a commission or something. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, indeed, the regulatory push is really helping us in recruiting new hotels, and that's definitely one of the key arguments we use when we try to contact hotels and to recruit them, convince them to join this working group and this training. And for the working together with partners and solutions of producers of alternatives, I think this would definitely be helpful. I know not in having them definitely in the working group, but seeing how we can work. I think we can see that as the training goes on, because there's of course one stage where we'll be looking for a specific solution, and I think we'll try to see if different hotels around a Mediterranean want to work on the same plastic, if we can maybe do a partnership to find the common alternative and have better prices probably.
Thank you, and yours, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Great initiative. Yes, interesting collaborative work also. I have a very little question. What are the main challenges you are facing for recruiting more hotels into this initiative, which looks like really great? And as Jan Martin mentioned, you have the legislation on your side. So what is the main difficulties for you?
Yeah, I think the main difficulty is either finding the right person in the hotel and convincing them to give some time to this topic, because hotels are always very potentially understaffed. It's also, their work is very seasonal. We have a lot of hotels also around the Mediterranean that are only open during the high season. And this working group training is over the course of a year, because we do not want to have most of the work to be done during high season, because that's when the time where there's not available. So I think our biggest constraint there is to convince them that it's worthwhile to spend the time necessary on this project.
Thank you very much all, and
indeed,
it's certainly a very relevant sector to prevent pollution in the Med. So we move to the last solution of this session before really opening up to the seeker and even maybe dialogue between you solution. So from the UK, Leo Perrin, CVAX. Leo, if you're there. If not, we will save a bit of time, I guess, but we want to still hear the solution if available. If not, I think it's fine. Maybe before opening up, I said yours and Jan Martin, this was also instrumental for having them. Well, first of all, thanks a lot. Really, all those questions shaped our understanding of the solution greatly. Maybe some of those are also interesting for your own cooperation, so feel free. There's no competition at all in that. Also, we will get some feedback on where you think we could help improving those solutions, but without entering a lot of details. Maybe just 1 minute reflection on your side, Jussi and Jan Martin. What did you see? Where you think we're going? What would you suggest as a move forward? Any of your reflection and also consideration of what you can do. Please, Jussi.
Yes, thank you. Well, it's interesting to see that are very innovative solutions, actually, and either they are at a very beginning stage of development or already implemented since a few years. So it's great to see all the work having like being done. Also interesting to have the business profile and also more NGO or more local initiative. That's nice also to have this geographical distribution, I think, of all these projects, and we all agree that we face the same issues, and they are for sure replicable in other countries in the Med, that's for sure. I highlight also the huge interest for plastic pollution issue, and that's normal, but it's interesting also to see that there are several point of view to handle this main issue for the Med.
Thank you very much, Jan. Martin, if you have any reflection.
Yeah. I mean, very impressed really by all of the presentations. So big congratulations. What strikes me is, of course, that the starting point is often, the mission ocean, the plastic pollution, the environmental problem is huge, and we all agree about it. But turning that into a business opportunity is quite something. And of course, the struggle that we have here all the time is that, yes, there are externalities in economic terms, but who is going to pay for it? So that's hence why I've been focusing a lot on your revenue streams. And if the revenue streams are not sufficient, of course, can be a case for public intervention. Of course, I mean, everybody would benefit from you solving the problems and contributing to the solutions, as we're all super interested in. So that is, I think, very important. And then, to build on the last point and exchange with Elodie, we know that several initiatives, in the past have not survived. So there have been companies, initiatives that have not managed to survive. So it's very good to be aware of the fact that it's not easy to get that all in place. But on a positive note, I mean, the regulatory part is now more and more on your side, especially with this new packaging waste regulation, which is really important, at least within the EU context. So I would really recommend everybody to really fully be aware of what's out there, and to also point your clients and other stakeholders to the importance to move. I mean, now is the time to get going, and that is, I think, an opportunity to really to do so. So never waste a good crisis, I would say. Thank you so much, and I really enjoyed this. Yeah.
No, thank you both, and thank you all of your solution. I mean, please stay here because we really want to open another discussion also amongst you. And indeed on that. I mean, I think the focus that we want to have is, of course, facilitating scalability and best of breed wherever exists, but the real change is local, no? So these are problems that need to be addressed, and there has to be a way to find a sustainable mechanism for financing those locally. But fine, I think I gave it back to Irene. We'll stay in the loop, but we want to open a bit the discussion with the broader public, including discussion amongst solutions. Feel free, yours and Martin, to stay on board or leave as your appointment require. And I leave the floor back to Irene. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matteo. All right, so thanks. First things first, thanks a lot to all the speakers for your very inspiring pitches, and shout out also to our panelists from Blue Seeds and Green Assist, who have done a really fantastic job in providing some sharp and to the point feedback to our pitchers. I think it has helped a lot in gaining a better understanding of what they're doing. So now we're shifting to what we're calling here the marketplace. This is where things will get a bit more interactive. We've heard some great pitches already, and now it's time to bring together the solution providers on the one hand, and then the potential customers, partners, and possible implementers that are here in the room. That means you, of course, the audience. So let's treat this more like a conversation than a Q&A, I would say. We're not looking here for perfectly elaborated feedback or questions. Just really take this chance to ask, to share what you're working on also, or even say, hey, this could actually work where I'm based, or this could help me meet my goals, but I'm not really sure how to move forward. So this is what we've created this space for. And again, to warm up and break the ice, we're going to get a sense of the room again. So we will launch a quick poll here on Teams, just to see where you stand in terms of applying or scaling the solutions that you've heard about. It's just a couple of questions, nothing too deep, but it will help us guide the conversation. In fact, yeah, you have here in the slide the questions, and now the poll should be ready for you to take part. So we start with a simple question: which solution, under your perspective, of course, you think is better suited to prevent and eliminate pollution, which is our goal within the mission, Blue Mission Med, of our oceans, seas, and waters. And maybe I think you can select more than one, so feel free to do so. Our next question would be which solution you would like to follow up with. This is a nice starter for the conversation in case, yes, you're working from a public authority or business or research academia, and you think that the solutions that you have heard about today are proposing something that you could really help with scaling up or maybe implementing and testing in your context. Well, this is the chance to do so, and then maybe we can open up the discussion. And then thirdly, this is a question about the gaps, which areas you think may still not be addressed by the solutions that you heard today, and that are areas that you would still need support with. And this is also what we want to hear now in this session. If you have some need that you think it's not entirely met by what you've heard, and therefore how you think that we could help you in identifying some additional solutions or some support to meet your goals.
Yeah, we have some response, but it's growing, so don't feel shy and reply.
Yes, let's give
really
people a couple of minutes. Yeah.
It really will help us also to look at areas with gaps. Okay, I see a gaps on solution. That's a broad gap, but good. In the meanwhile, I think maybe our participants for CWOX raise his hand.
Yes, I see that. Okay, please go ahead.
Just wanted to say that all of the solutions that are being worked on there are really amazing. When we were involved in harvesting plastic, we tackled it in such a way that it was global. And perhaps we should have been concentrating on smaller vessel for solutions like in the Mediterranean. For example, the CVAX could be a river VAX, which means it could be stationed in a river or outside a river, or it could patrol shorelines and give information as to where the plastic is and where plastic needs to be collected. But that was just the harvesting side of it. Obviously, there has to be some kind of remuneration, hard and fast remuneration, to enable investment in technology that would be beneficial. It cannot just be that there's a regulation which is floating about in the ether. But there needs to be it needs to be quantified. Otherwise, how can you put together a business plan, for example? And a lot of people were talking about other means of funding things. For example, so we were not for profit. We were a research and innovation organisation, and being not for profit, we're not actually in it for the money. We just want to find a solution for people, and because it's an international problem. I mean, if you were to clean the Mediterranean, it'd be dirty again in a few weeks' time, because the oceans are constantly revolving. Therefore, European regulations need to be tied into international. For example, the United Nations, they still haven't got a formula for apportioning who's going to do what, and is it going to be illegal, and how is it going to be enforced? Anyway, I just wanted to say that. I'll give it. Can I give it back to you now?
Oh no, yeah, draw a bombshell in the Mediterranean, but in a good way. And well, there will be in early June a UNOC discussion. We also briefly be presented, but clearly that's a big thing. But yeah, please go ahead. You raise your hand again, or you just?
Oh, sorry, no,
no worries.
I meant to take it down.
Yeah. I mean, there are quite a few in the registration list. At least quite a few authorities, local, regional. Maybe it would be nice to see their view on that, but also how they, what their interest in and their role could be, and how we can help them uptaking solution or launching funds, etc.
Yes, exactly. I mean, well, we see a quite even spread across the different solutions. It seems I'm looking now at the results of question 2, by the way, which is which solution you would like to follow up with. But it seems many people want to follow up with Beyond Plastic Med solution, which is good. Also Recycllux. Then the next one would be POLYCHAETA. I was wondering of the people who actually responded to this. Yes, it would be nice to know how and what for you would like to follow up with. So this is the space to really take the floor and ask your questions and see how we can make this happen. As Matteo was saying, we know that we have different type of stakeholders here present today, as we saw at the beginning. So maybe we could start with the public authorities. If you're still there, because I know it's been a long, intense session so far, but hopefully some of you are still there, some local, regional governments, maybe also port authorities. Let's hear from you, from those of you who are working at the cities or regional levels, and let us know if you see any of these solutions being a fit for your local plans or strategies. I kindly leave that invitation to you.
There is also, I'm copying the result on the chat of the third question, and there was mentioning of inquiring with policymaker as an issue. I don't know if that was the point of our CVAX colleague, but if you have commented that and if you want to elaborate, what would be the interaction with policymaker required? We can also maybe ask the solutions. How did you see this relation with policymakers and authorities? Are you experiencing good cooperation, or there's still greater support that could be offered? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Could I just jump in there quickly to say that from 2016 to 2021, maybe into 22, we lobbied quite hard with the European Union and the G7. And essentially, we were told that there would be no help from any of those persons, but they weren't prepared to enter into negotiations with the likes of us, because we're only a small foundation and we don't represent anyone. Actually, we're independent. And so we got a number of letters saying, well, if you provide the solution, we'll back you. But obviously it's the other way around. If you want a solution, I'm a design engineer, by the way. I actually helped design the CVAX. So if someone presents me with a problem, I will come up with a solution. And it took a team of 16 engineering and universities to come up with a solution like that. And essentially, we got off the starting blocks too soon. In 2015, everyone was saying, no, it won't get any worse, and a solution is going to happen. We're going to deal with it by reducing the amount of plastic being produced. but that never happened. It's gone the other way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll jump off again.
No, but stay there, because I mean, it would be good because you're triggering some discussion, which is also interesting for us in a maybe upcoming continuation of our support, and maybe you have some interesting or not, whatever they are experiencing in the UK, but because obviously one of the key driver could and should be the role of, if I understand or how I reflect from your intervention, the role of public procurement in really like boosting that type of solution. Because, you know, when it comes to, I'm thinking this solution that we present today, just anecdotally, but, you know, when it comes to monitoring pollution, when it comes to transforming pollution into maybe sources, etc., these could all be areas where public procurement and public authorities and bodies this could be action that they do in their political mandate, in a sense. But then there are issues around the innovation of procurement. Is a typical thing of transparency and bureaucracy in the most positive meaning of the term, that but it's kind of conflicting with space for innovation and experimentation. And there are ways for innovation procurement and innovative procurement practice, but not yet that much. So that could be a boost for like local level, regional, territorial innovation through public procurement of public authorities. But I don't know if you have any experience for good or not good in the UK or more broadly in that area. So are authorities able or have tried to use their procurement practice to trigger innovation?
We very nearly got some support from the Heritage Lottery Fund for monitoring the shoreline using what would be a very small CVAX, a 17-meter. The CVAX you're looking at on the screen there is 44 meters with a 15-meter hood. It's actually designed to clean oceans in fleets. That's such a large-scale project that it was very unlikely to get funding unless all of the countries were to come in. However, going back to the United Kingdom, which is not necessarily a model I would recommend looking at. I would say look at the Mediterranean and look at the rivers flowing into the Mediterranean. But then the Mediterranean is not just Europe, of course.
Yes.
Where does Africa come in? Where does Egypt come in? Where does there's a lot of countries that are bordering on the Mediterranean that could benefit from monitoring and collection, harvesting, and recycling of plastic. That I'm not sure what the situation is with the EU, how you interact with other countries.
Yeah, I mean, there are also participants here from Turkey, from Tunisia, maybe Marwin also has a solution. What's the state of play there, and what's really blocking and preventing cooperation with the public authorities? Do you want to share some views?
Okay, thank you. So to share what the case of Tunisia to collaborate with the public government, so it's the lack of funding. So especially it's lack of funding. It's like we have the resource, so we have people. They are developing technology. We have scientists. We have everything to develop, to innovate. But the problem is the lack of funding. So Tunisia is an emerging country, so we have more priority to put money to so when they are making the budget, so the budget is going to something more priority than to go to research something else. So this is the big problem. And now we start having lot of funding, so from the European Union, from GIZ, from African Development Bank. So we are getting some fund that helping us. So me especially, I will talk about my initiative. So I was funded from, I passed more than 8 years of LED to set up the process of production of marine worms, and 80% of the budget was grant from European Union, from GIZ, from African banks. So we need to search grant. We need to look for funding so we can innovate, we can showcase our solution, we can work especially on deep tech project like this, where project need a lot of research, lot of money expended in to develop the technology. So this is the big and the first issue of emerging country like Tunisia is funding.
Yeah. Maybe users, you kindly remain here if I can pick your brain on, because I understand that part of what Blue Seeds does is looking and helping at a very local level models for fundraising, or maybe smarter way to collaborate with public authorities. Or could you elaborate on that? How do you see the status in the Mediterranean, or where are the challenges? What could be the opportunities where we can also help?
Well, I can give you an example of another topic on which we are working, which is the conservation of Posidonia seagrass in the Med. So we did recently a study to evaluate the costs and the budget, the funding that is needed and the funding that is available for this. And we made a comparison between the north of the Med and the south. And it's more or less what was just said by Marwen, because in the south of the Med, there are less opportunities in terms of funding, since most of the national authorities don't give that much support for innovative solutions. It's much more difficult for them to access this type of grants, of funding. But what we do at Blue Seeds, depending on the topics on which we work, we collaborate with local NGOs or local entities, and together we build up projects, and mainly collaborative projects with at least one entity or several, regarding on topic and on topic that where we face the same problematics. We go together, we build up a project, and we go together to find the financing. We knock on doors, and this is how it works.
Yeah. No, okay. Because indeed there are local development banks. There are also local agencies. Sorina, if you're still there, I think if I understood correctly, you were engaging with some accelerator in Malta. What's your experience there, if that's correct? Because there are similar entities all across the north and south of the Med. In Algeria, there are great like sectoral acceleration initiatives that are used really by the ministry to scale up. So I have a feeling that what's missing is awareness, kind of this networking type of thing, and more of a general global regional cooperation amongst those bodies. But what's your experience so far?
First of all,
you're still a little soft. I don't know why. Apologies.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but much better now.
Oh, okay, so we chose to start attacking the Mediterranean from Malta. First of all, because it's in the middle, and it can fuel our expansion beyond Europe in the future. Because as you said, it's not only Europe that borders the Mediterranean. And then we interacted with two entities. First is Enterprise Malta, because they have subsidies for setting up companies there. It's de minimis help, but it can help you to set up. It's 75% financed from them, which releases a burden from your operations, at least in the first 2 years. And of course, building on that, they have also various innovation grants, things for research purposes. And we also interacted with Malta Accelerate, because they have a program dedicated to blue economy. In Malta, blue economy is one of their priority focus. And we analyzed this, and of course we analyzed also the taxation regime when we decided this. So these were our, and of course we are following it up. are currently interviewing because they give you a list with lawyers, with accountants. So they are pretty helpful. So we are now interviewing these companies to find the best one, and we will do practically the registration in parallel with the application for the state aid.
Yeah, and so there are.
But it's a help. We don't have it in Romania. So.
I don't know if there's any like regional local authorities or researchers that have
questions from the audience in general. Any questions you may have to your pitchers?
Yeah.
This is your chance, really.
Maybe also, Elodie, in your experience, so in the hotel sector and looking across different countries and association, how did you find this relation with local funder agencies? Do you think they are interested? They are not? There are issues, or you not really address those? Sorry if I can pick your brain on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I will be the best one to represent, because it's I'm not part of BMM. I'm part of a consultancy that work for BMM. Yeah. So I don't really have the visibility on how BMM works with its different funders and in working with different local authorities. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Could I say something again?
Of course.
Okay, so we did apply for various grants in the UK, and we had at that point in time stopped working on CVAX because we couldn't see that for the foreseeable future it would be viable. But we didn't waste the research. We're doing a solar-powered ship at the moment called Elizabeth Swan, and the technology is interchangeable. So we made an application for a solar-powered boat and literally were shown the door. They weren't interested in that at all. However, we are an EU water mission at the moment with the Elizabeth Swan. I just thought I'd mention that. It's a hydrogen solar-powered ship. Okay, but because we had tested the water locally, making applications for grants that we would have thought people would have jumped at and didn't get them, we realized that we had to go elsewhere to get the funding. For example, for CVAX, we were crowdfunded to the tune of $500,000, but we soon ran out of $500,000 and got into trouble, because the moment you're doing a big research project like that, the costs tend to multiply until you get to the end of the project when you can get some payback. So there you go. So I'm not sure how other people may have applied for local grants, but in the United Kingdom, unless you're one of the, they don't like taking risks, you see. No one will take a risk.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
No, exactly. That's I think that's a bit of a, well, not a bit, like the main challenge we're facing to promote scale up innovation and particularly transformative solution, because maybe that's what Sorina wants to say, but in our experience, indirectly, fortunately, but still, like the risk is all moved to the actual solution provider, and it's a cycle where then even in the presence of grants, you need to anticipate some money, maybe even taking loans to do that, because there's not upfront money available for these, and so it's becoming very risky in a sense, and this risk averseness is then shifted on the shoulder of the solution rather than the authorities or the investors. So this is a common issue, I suspect. But Sorina, yeah.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, it's of course related to what you said, but mainly to respond to Leo. It's tough. I agree. It's a very tough journey for a startup, and especially when the investors and the local climate is very risk adverse. And I think that at least here in Eastern Europe, the climate is a lot more adverse. But the thing is how we try to overcome it and advance the solution and be able to reach a stage where we can do the pilot, we basically keep an Excel file of all the grants that are coming up on social economy and impact, and we apply to everything. It's a consuming work, but in the end, you get some. Of course, you don't get them all, unfortunately, but you get some, and you can progress. So I think the answer is perseverance, to have it a little easier.
Yeah.
Some grants, some focus specific on the marine, because there are.
No, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Sorina and all. I don't know if you have additional questions or comments. I mean, please raise your hand or write it there, and because now we need to also wrap up. I mean, we have a number of authorities seeking support as solution seeker, as we call them. So, as you see, but you know that it's not immediate that people step up and engage. So we one of our main aim is really try to engage a bit more with the authorities and try to see what could be done to bridge the solution provider and their needs. But I give it back to Irene again. If any of you wants to still answer questions, offer suggestions, point where they need support, if you're welcome, or we wrap up. Yeah, go ahead.
Could I just say one thing?
Absolutely.
When you've got a number of people, this group here that are presently in this meeting, who are willing to put their time and effort into finding a solution, the policymakers should grab hold of those people with open arms and support them. Don't let them go, because they'll find something else that needs to be done, and you lose the people who are trying to find the solutions for you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. Absolutely. And Olga.
I just wanted to say, since we had the solution for 5 years, and then we also have this legislation now on our side, which has been helping a lot, I think. And at least here in Spain, the government is really supporting our solution. We really work with them. And I think maybe it's after some years, now that you can start seeing these results. And what is good is now we see some grants from the European Union, like the Next Generation. We know some clients that could get these grants, and that's how they pay, for example, for our solutions. And as well as in Catalonia, the Water Association is also giving grants. So it is really helping the municipalities, to apply these solutions. So I just wanted to say, not to give up. If your solution is good, give it a chance, and I'm sure the results are gonna come out later on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and regulation could. Oh, please, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, Olga's technology. We use meshes as well in the CVAX. We use hydrocyclonic filters and variable meshes. That was self-cleaning. So we're not a million miles away from you, except ours was a mobile solution.
Yeah. I mean, we encourage partnerships, so we will certainly put you in contact. Luca.
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for this opportunity, because we start at last year, and now we want to and you Blue Mission Med can help also the Italian solution, the Italian country, because a lot of problem in also in the north, because a lot of river has a lot of pollution in the water. So we also try to study also the dam, because I'm here in Trento, so I'm in the north near the mountain, and our solution is in the sea. So also not only the sea, the Mediterranean, but I want to solve the problem also in the dam or river. This is our solution. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you all. And I mean, before closing up, and I leave the floor for that to Irene, but we want to remind that we're really starting, and we hope it's a long journey, but also we hope that you soon find acceleration to your journey. And yeah, just some closing remarks from Irene, but really to say that we started this cooperation. We already have 70 participants here. We're waiting for two more of these, and we really aim at together getting somewhere really. But Irene, please.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Matteo. Yeah, I'm really glad that this marketplace turned out to be a bit of an exchange of lessons from the different solution providers themselves. It's also a nice opportunity to do that exercise now, to share experiences and see how you can cross-fertilize and learn from each other, because after all, you're facing similar challenges. So it was good to have this discussion. So yeah, just as a wrap up, just to remind you that this is the beginning of a process of a support program that we're launching as part of the Blue Mission Med project. I think there's a slide after this one that we can show. Exactly. Yeah, very quickly, if you can put it all there. Thanks a lot. Yeah, well, this process, this pathway of support started with a call for expression of interest to which many of you already applied. And this is how we actually found about your idea and how we invited you to this webinar. And in fact, this webinar is part of the assessment process. No, in a way, we wanted to know a bit better about what you can offer and also what you're seeking. And based on that, be able to provide more tailored support based on your needs. So after today, we will do a bit of a screening of the different solutions, technologies, and activities that we've heard. We will classify a little bit the different solutions in terms of their bankability or their level of maturity in terms of TRL, and based on that, we
build also on the feedback from yours and Martin. So we thank them both again, because that would be very helpful.
Yes, of course. So yeah, if we can go to the next slide. As said, this is a series of webinars. So we started today with this topic, but we really hope to see you in the next ones. The next one is actually next week on Tuesday at 10 on bio-based innovation. We also have a bunch of very interesting ideas showcased there. And then on May 28th, we have the one on monitoring, detecting, and collecting pollution. So I think that's it. We're at the end of today's session. So well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Oh yes, just a quick reminder on this very last slide on our final event, which will be the concluding milestone of our project, where the most promising solutions, the ones that have undergone this pathway of support, will be showcased to an audience of investors, etc. So save that date on your calendar. Wednesday, 6 November in Rimini, Italy. We hope to see you there. And yeah, that's it. Maybe just a very, very quick reminder. Sorry, Matteo, before we close, that the session has been recorded. We will be sharing it with you very soon, along with any useful links and the context of the solutions that we've presented today, in case you want to reach out. Also, note that we are planning to launch a community platform where everyone who's interested in matchmaking, following up with the different solutions, etc., can do so in their own virtual environment, let's say. So that's in the making. It's coming very soon. So stay tuned. And yeah, that's it from my side. Take care, and hopefully see you again at the next.
Yeah, I was wondering if we can have a kind of a family picture. If Andrea or Marta can do that. I'm very bad at that, but if we can all show our faces, and Marta, if you can confirm, you can take a screenshot of that.
Okay.
Yes, please, everyone, turn on your cameras if you can. We can take a few, as there's many people here.
Yeah, unless someone is doing it. Are you doing it, Martos, or some of us?
All right.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. I can.
I took a few myself also. So
Okay, then it's fine. Then it's fine. Thank you
I
very
think
much.
it should be fine. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And see you very soon.
Take
Ciao.
care. See you soon.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.